Close your eyes for a moment and picture this. It's the year 2035, and the world is holding its breath. Smoke curls up from battlefields stretching across continents, but the real drama unfolds in your pocket. Your money is changing before your very eyes. What if a third world war doesn't just redraw maps but rewrites the entire story of wealth? Hello, I'm Eric Pohl from Epic Wealth and History, and today we're embarking on an epic journey together. We're going to travel back through the ashes of past wars, peek into the tense corners of today's world, and gaze into the crystal ball of 2035 to see what it might mean for your financial future. This isn't just a video, it's a story of survival, innovation, and the power of money in the face of chaos. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell. We've got a wild ride ahead. Why does this matter to you? Because history has a funny way of repeating itself, and the lessons from the past might just save your wallet in the future. We'll explore how world wars have flipped economies upside down, how today's geopolitical chess game could spark a global conflict, and what that might mean for currencies, trade, and even the rise of digital money. I promise you, I'll walk away with your mind buzzing with possibilities, and maybe a few ideas to protect what you've got. So, are you ready to dive into the unknown? Let us start with a question that has been haunting thinkers for decades. Could WW3 be the reset button for global finance? Stick with me, because by the end, you'll have your own prediction to share. Let's go. Grainy footage of WW1 soldiers in trenches, old banknotes fluttering in the wind, and bustling 1940s markets. Let's step back in time, shall we? Our story begins in the muddy trenches of World War I back in 1918. The war had just ended, but the real battle was just starting. For money. Countries like Germany and France were buried under mountains of debt. Their currencies so worthless that people burned marks to stay warm. Inflation skyrocketed. Imagine paying $1 billion for a single loaf of bread. This wasn't just a financial hiccup. It was a wake-up call. Governments learned that war doesn't just kill people, it kills economies too. But from that ruin came a glimmer of hope. Nations started rethinking how money works. Fast forward to 1939, and the world plunged into World War II. This time, the stakes were even higher. Factories churned out tanks and planes, but the cost was staggering. By 1944, with the war still raging, a secretive meeting took place in a quiet New Hampshire town called Bretton Woods. Picture this. Delegates from 44 countries sitting around tables, smoking cigars, and hammering out a plan. They decided the US dollar would become the world's anchor currency, backed by gold, while other currencies tied themselves to it. It was a financial revolution. After the war, the Marshall Plan pumped billions into Europe, rebuilding economies and creating a new global order. But not everyone won. Some nations struggled under the weight of reparations and lost colonies. What can we learn from this? Wars don't just end with a treaty. They reshape money's power. The dollar's rise after WW2 shows how conflict can birth new systems, but it also warns us instability can linger for decades. So, as we head toward 2035, could history be whispering a similar tale? Let's hold on to that thought as we jump to the present day, where the stage is set for something big, maybe too big. The world isn't at peace, and the air is thick with tension. Imagine a giant chessboard stretching across the globe, with superpowers moving their pieces. In the East, the United States and China are locked in a silent war over technology and trade. China's Belt and Road Initiative is building bridges, literally, while the U.S. pushes back with tariffs and tech bans. Then there's Europe, where the Russia-Ukraine conflict rages on, disrupting energy supplies and sending shockwaves through markets. And don't forget the Middle East, where old rivalries over oil and power keep the pot boiling. Why should you care? Because these hotspots could be the spark for a third world war. Resources are the fuel, oil, rare earth metals for your phone, even water in some places. Tech is the match. AI, cyber warfare, and drones are turning battles into digital showdowns. Just last month, reports surfaced of a massive cyber attack on a major bank, blamed on state-sponsored hackers. Coincidence? Maybe not. Historians might look back at 2025 as the year the dominoes started falling. Imagine a giant chessboard stretching across the globe, with superpowers moving their pieces. In the East, the United States and China are locked in a silent war over technology and trade. China's Belt and Road Initiative is building bridges, literally, while the U.S. pushes back with tariffs and tech bans. Then there's Europe, where the Russia-Ukraine conflict rages on, disrupting energy supplies and sending shockwaves through markets. And don't forget the Middle East, where old rivalries over oil and power keep the pot boiling. Why should you care? Because these hotspots could be the spark for a third world war. Resources are the fuel, oil, rare earth metals for your phone, even water in some places. Tech is the match. AI, cyber warfare, and drones are turning battles into digital showdowns. Just last month, reports surfaced of a massive cyber attack on a major bank, blamed on state-sponsored hackers. Coincidence? Maybe not. Historians might look back at 2025 as the year the dominoes started falling. Let's paint a picture. If China invades Taiwan over semiconductor chips, the U.S. steps in, and Russia joins the fray, suddenly you've got a global conflict. Or imagine a resource war over the Arctic as ice melts, revealing oil and minerals. The pieces are moving and the clock is ticking. This isn't science fiction, it's the world we're living in. So what happens when these tensions explode? That's where our story gets juicy, because the fallout could hit your bank account harder than you think. Ready to see how? All right, let's imagine the unthinkable. WW3 breaks out in 2030 and the world is at war. What does that mean for your money? Picture this scene. Stock markets flash red as panic sets in. The US dollar, that mighty king from WW2, starts trembling. Why? Trust erodes when bombs fall. People hoard gold or flee to safer havens. The British pound might fare no better, tied as it is to a shaky European economy. In this chaos, currencies could swing wildly. Imagine the dollar losing half its value overnight. But it's not just about cash. Trade is the lifeblood of the global economy, and war could choke it. Supply chains, those invisible threads bringing you everything from your morning coffee to your smartphone, snap. China stops shipping goods. The Suez Canal closes and suddenly prices soar. A simple t-shirt might cost $50 because it can't get to your store. Businesses collapse, jobs vanish, and the average person feels the pinch. Yet, from this darkness, a hero might emerge: digital money. Imagine a soldier in 2035 far from home tapping a phone to buy supplies. Blockchain technology, with its unbreakable records, could keep trade alive when banks fail. Central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, might roll out faster than ever, letting governments control money flows even in war. Crypto, like Bitcoin, could surge as people seek alternatives, though it's not without risks if internet access falters. This could be the birth of a cashless world forced by necessity. Exciting? Sure. Scary? Absolutely. Let's break it down further. Currency volatility might spark a new Bretton Woods, nations scrambling to agree on a global standard. Trade disruptions could birth new alliances, like a USA-UK bloc versus a China-Russia pact, each with its own currency system. And digital finance? It might not just survive, it could thrive, with AI managing transactions in real time. Think of it. A world where your wealth isn't in a bank vault but in a digital cloud. But here's the catch. War could also wipe out savings if markets crash hard. Are you ready for that roller coaster? Let's hear what the experts think next. Now, let's bring in the big brains to guide us through this storm. Imagine sitting across from economist Jane Doe, a veteran of financial crises. She leans forward and says, "Look, war could topple traditional banks. With branches bombed or closed, digital finance will be the lifeline. CBDCs could replace cash in a heartbeat." Her eyes gleam with certainty as she adds, "By 2035, we might see a global shift away from old systems." Next up is historian John Smith, his voice rich with the weight of the past. History repeats, he warns. After WW2, we got the dollar's dominance. This time, a new currency might rise, maybe a digital yuan or a unified euro block coin. But it'll come with pain. Reparations and rebuilding costs could crush weaker nations. He pauses, letting that sink in. Then there's tech analyst Alex Lee, tapping away on a futuristic device. AI will be the game changer, he predicts. If humans are too busy fighting, algorithms could balance budgets, predict crashes, and even issue emergency funds. But, he cautions, if the power grid fails, we're back to bartering. The trio disagrees on details. Jane sees opportunity, John fears collapse, Alex bets on tech, but they agree. 2035 could be a financial crossroads. What does this mean for you? Maybe a chance to invest in digital assets, or a warning to diversify before the storm. What's your take? Will experts steer us right, or are we heading for a fall? Drop your thoughts below. I'm all ears. So, what's the future holding? Let's peer into 2035 with bold guesses. Imagine a new global currency born from war's chaos, perhaps a digital dollar-pound hybrid, forged by the USA and UK to counter China's yuan. Or picture a decentralized dream. Crypto takes over, with Bitcoin or a new coin becoming the people's money, free from government control. The possibilities are endless. But there's a darker side. If markets crash, wealth could evaporate. Savings accounts wiped out, pensions gone. By 2050, we might see a world where money is less about cash and more about resources, land, water, or tech. Some predict a post-scarcity society, where AI produces enough for all, while others warn of a wealth gap wider than ever. Will history repeat with a new elite, or will we find balance? The choice might rest with how we act today. Get ready. 2035 could redefine what rich means. Are you in or out? Let's wrap this up. And there we have it, our epic tale from the trenches of WW1 to the digital battlefields of 2035. We've seen how wars reshape money, felt the tension of today's world, and dreamed of what's to come. Will WW3 redefine global finance, or will peace prevail and guide us to prosperity? The story's not over. It's in your hands. What's your prediction? Will it be a new currency, a crypto boom, or a financial reset? Shout it out in the comments. I can't wait to read your ideas. If you loved this deep dive, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and hit that bell so you never miss a chapter. Follow us on X, Epic Wealth Hist, for real-time updates and join our community of history and wealth explorers. Until next time, keep your eyes on the future and your mind on the past, because at Epic Wealth and History, every story counts. See you soon.